Okay, welcome back, everybody. Last time um we started with hack the box account creation and building of the virtual lab. That's VMware and Kali Linux. We also we also pawned this box, which is new. We also rooted from two. And also too, so today we are going to be focusing on dancing and redeemer. So without wasting much for that time, I'm going to go straight with dancing. So what we did last week was I showed us how to connect to Hack the Box VPN server. So all we need to do first is we have to firstly click on Hack the Box. You can see it showing red. Next thing we have to go down to starting points, click on starting points, then you see open VPN, click on open VPN, leave it as default, then you just need to click on TCP, then click on download. Now I already did that, so I won't be doing that again. So all I have to do right now is I have to click back at this red to take that out. Then next I'm going to open my terminal and I'm going to navigate to the directory where I downloaded my VPN. So I'm going to go to downloads. So I'm going to go to download, and if I should do ls starting points, you can see I have the file here. So all I need to do now is to go ahead and connect to this, which I'm going to do sudo openvpn starting points, sudo openvpn starting points dot ovpn. I'm going to input my password. So I'm going to give it some time for it to load and to connect to the VPN server. And once you see this initialization sequence completed, it means we are connected to the VPN server. To also verify that, I'm going to open a new terminal. I'll type IPA. I can see here this is my IP address. I can also do ifconfig to 0, and I'm also going to still see my IP address. So this shows that I am connected to the VPN server. So all I need to do now is to go ahead and spawn this box. So I'm going to click here, then I'm going to click on it's still showing, it's still grayed out. So why it's still showing grayed out is because I'm not yet connected to hack the box VPN server. So but from my command you can see that I'm connected. So all I need to do is I can either wait or I refresh the page for that to happen. So I'm going to refresh the page and let's see. So immediately I refresh the page, you can see it's showing green. So that shows that I'm connected to the VPN server. I'm going to scroll down and now you can see it's active. So we're working on dancing now and click on spawn. So all I need to do is to make a directory dancing while it's spawning. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to clear my screen, mkdir dancing. So I'll seed it to that directory. So you can see I'm in the directory dancing. So why am I doing that is because I want to make sure that everything is organized. So the next I'm going to do is you can see under here you can see this purple color which indicates that it's a very easy rated machine. I can see the operating system is Windows, and let me quickly show you something. Under machines, you can see if you click on the machines, you can see they have different colors. You can see we have yellow, we have red, we have green, and the green signifies easy boxes, the red signifies hard rated machines, while the yellow signify medium rated machines. And we also have the ash color, which also signifies insane. That's very difficult machines. So we're going back to starting points to focus on this. So what we are going to do here right now is the IP address is up and running. It takes some time for it to load. So once the IP address load, the next thing I have to do is to perform a full a TCP scan, not full, just not full port scan, to just the top scan. We want to do sudo nmap. I'm going to do sudo nmap. I'm going to include the IP address. I'm going to specify SCV, that's script scan and version scanning. So the next thing I'm going to do is on scan.txt, and I'm going to do min mean rate. So why I'm doing mean rate 1000 is because I want it to be very fast. So I'm running sudo nmap, and running sudo nmap automatically is going to perform a sync scan, and then running scv. Sc stands for scripts, default scripts, while the V stands for version enumeration. The on means I want to save it in a file known as scan.txt. The mean rate here signifies that I want to make it that the minimum packet rate should be 1000. So it's going to be very, very fast. So it's not ideal for us to use this kind of scanning rate in a real target, because you might it's like if there is maybe a firewall or something or an IDS, it's going to flag immediately, because I'm scanning this machine, I'm sending out packets like at a very fast rate, and you can see our result is out already. So the next thing we're going to do is we can clearly see here that analyzing these results is, you can see here that we have nmap results for this, and we have can see clearly from the scan that we have 997 close port, meaning that we only scan the top 1000 ports and 3 ports are open here. So here we can see we have RPC open, we have 139 and 445, that's NetBIOS and SMB all open, and we can clearly see that the service information is the OS is a Windows operating system. So for now, we know we have 3 ports open, and we can still, since we know that it's a Windows operating system, we can still dig deep using a tool known as crackmap.exec. So we can use something like crackmap.exec SMB, and we're going to input the IP address, right? And this is going to give us more information about the target operating system, since it's a Windows operating system. So you can see from here, it brought out the name of the system, which is dancing. We know, okay, it's running Windows 10, and it's 64 bits, and it's not connected to any domain. So now we know that yes, we are up against a Windows operating system. Now, since SMB is on, we can go ahead and run something like this. We can try something like -u without password. We can try something like -p without password. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to check if we can access the shares on this SMB. SMB means server message block. So I'm trying to see if we can access the shares on this system without any credential, and that's also known as anonymous access. Now you can see it says error enumerating access denied. We can also try something like guest or a random username. You can always try anything that does not exist, and let's see if we can log in without a password using username guest. So let's see. Okay, it's taking time. Seems it's going to work. Wow, so you can see that yes, we can log in to, we can access these shares using a guest account, and we have access to work shares, which we have a read and write, meaning that we can access the shares on this system, or we can access the work shares. Let's also try a random username. I can just put something that does not exist, right? And we can clearly see that it's going to work, because if guest can work, then definitely any username can work, because we have anonymous access on the server. So this is a very it's a misconfiguration that can give attackers access to your files on the system. So now that we have a read and write access on worksheets, we can go ahead and use a tool known as SMB clients to actually enumerate the shares or connect to the shares. We can try something like SMB clients. Can try something like XMB client with it -l and // the IP address and /n. So what we are doing is we are utilizing SMB client to log into the system to access the shares, to list the shares, sorry, without any credentials. That's what this N stands for. So now we can see that we can do this using SMB client. Now, if we want to access these work shares, because from our scan we can see that you can access these work shares and IPC. So, but this is what um, we are more interested in. So all these ones are default shares. So we're going to access the work shares now to see what we can find here. So we can also use tools like SMB map and other tools, Enom for Linux and other tools to enumerate shares, but let's just stick with SMB clients for now. So to connect these shares, I'm going to uh, modify this command. Now all I need to do is take out this -l because I don't want to list shares. I'll just add a forward slash and add my work shares here. So now I'm telling SMB to connect to this share, this work shares without any username or password, and you can see we are connected. Now I can type help to list HELP to list commands. Now you can see we have different commands here to work with. Next, I can go ahead and type ls to list the files, and now I can see we have two directories, which is army.j and james.p. So let's check army.j to see what we have there. cd ls. Okay, we have worknotes.txt. I can use get command to download that file to see what's in there. Okay, all I need to do is to go back to my previous terminal ls, and we can see worknotes. I can view worknotes.txt. Now Army dropped something saying start Apache server on the Linux machine, secure the FTP server, set up WinRM on dancing. So WinRM is also it's a remote management protocol that we can also use to log in. Well, it seems based on what we see here, it clearly indicates that they want to perform some tasks. But let's still continue enumerating the machine to see what we can find. So let's go back. If I should do ls again, we have James P. So let's check James P uh, for directory. So ls, oh wow, we have our flag.txt. So let's quickly grab that. Get flag.txt. Okay, so let's see ls. Okay, we have our flag.txt, cat flag.txt. Yeah, so finally we got flag.txt, and for the fact that we have a write access, I can also upload a file to this directory. So let's do something like echo touch. So I can do something like my file.txt and see if we can upload it. So to confirm, if I should run ls in the SMB, we can see we only have flag.txt. Now, what if we can upload our own file? So I can use a command known as put flag. I can just so put my file.txt and let's see if it works. And yes, it works. Now, if I should do ls, now you can see I uploaded my personal file. Now, the dangers of this thing is if an attacker should have read and write access on this SMB, it means that an attacker can log in without credentials, authenticate to the share without credentials, create a malicious payload and upload it. Now, if the victim, James, on let's say for example, access this share, there are some payloads that execute automatically without a user clicking them once they just visit that share folder, which can their hashes can be captured, cracked, and then or also to there are some payloads that I can upload here, and once the victim clicks on it, I'm going to get a remote code execution on their host operating system. So it's very, very dangerous. This kind of misconfiguration is very bad. First of all, you should not grant anonymous access on SMB servers. Secondly, you should restrict anonymous users from uploading files on servers. So let's see the questions here. It said, what does the three-letter acronym SMB stands for? We know it is server message block, which is server message block. Next said, what port does SMB use to operate at? So we can check from our nmap scan. We have 445 here, so it's 445. Next, we have they said what is the service name for the port 445? So we can check that port and check for port 445, and we have Microsoft, yes. So we have Microsoft, yes. So next, moving forward, you can see we have Microsoft, yes. Now it also said what is the flag or switch that we can use with the SMB client utility to list the available shares on dancing. So we are going to use the what minus L to list it. You can see minus L, which we did here when we ran that command SMB clients. We did L to list. So next is we also said how many shares are there on dancing? So let's count together how many shares are on dancing. You can see we have the admin share, we have the seed share, we have the IPC share, we have the work shares. So we have 4 shares. Tax 6 said, what is the name of the share we are able to access in the end with a blank password? So you can see we accessed work shares. You can clearly see that we accessed work shares without a password here. You can see we accessed work shares. So next they said, what is the command we can use within SMB to SMB shell to download the files we found? So here we can see we use the get when we wanted downloading the flag.txt. So we can see here that we ran get flag.txt to download our flag when we went to James P's folder. So we also made use of the put command to check if we can upload files. Then submit your root flag. So I'm going to submit your root flag that you get. So that'll be all. So I encourage you to check the official write-up, the walkthrough, because it kind of contains more detailed information that we might miss. It's not just rooting the machine, but sometimes we also need to understand so that certain concepts. So you can see this is the official write-up, which you can see here. It's talk about OSI model, introduction to networking, you can see basics. So I encourage you to make sure you read this write up, you learn a lot. So moving forward, I'm going to go ahead and stop this machine. I'm going to click on stop machine. So while it's stopping, I'm going to go to my terminal to clear things up. So I'm going to type, I'm going to close this terminal. I'm going to close this, and then I'm going to close this, right? So I'm going to make a new directory. So before I do that, the next machine we are going to be attacking is the redeemer. So I'm going to click here and click on spawn machine. So while it's spawning, we'll quickly make a directory for what's for redeemer. So I'm going to make a directory for redeemer. So I'm going to make a directory for redeemer. So now we have redeemer here. So we are going to wait for the IP to come up. So it said it can take a minute for Actibox to recognize the connection. If you just see an update after 2 to 3 minutes, refresh the page. So we are going to be from the tags here, we can see that we are going to learn about Redis, vulnerability assessment, databases, cognizance, anonymous slash guest access. So throughout this week, all the boxes we have been working on, that's from this, and this. Mainly, it has been anonymous access. That's logging into a system without um, proper credentials or without credentials at all. So right now we have our IP address up and running. So we are going to go ahead and scan this IP address and compromise the whole machine, and then we'll come back to solve the question. So first thing first is I'm going to perform the sudo nmap. I'm going to input the IP address. So I'm going to use minus svc. Next, I'm going to on, that's on, scan.txt mean rate. So I already explained to us what this mean rate does. I'm going to input my password. So you don't want to use this mean rate when you're in a live environment or when you're having network issues, because you might run into um, some problem. So we can see here that we scanned the top 1000 ports, and you can see not shown 1000 closed ports. So you might not be wondering, okay, why is this closed 1000? It's because we are scanning only 1000 ports. We are not scanning all the ports. So we can go ahead and modify this command and add something like minus p. So this is going to scan all the ports for us. So by default, nmap scans only the top 1000 ports, right? And also to the fact that we're not seeing ports here, that does not mean there are no other open ports. So we have to try and scan all the ports, right, to make sure that we are scanning everything. That's 65,535 ports. Also, too, we can also use the tag su command. So the su is for UDP scan. So it should be sudo nmap, right, IP address minus su. I'm going to do suv. Then I'm going to do something like top ports. So why I like doing top ports is because UDP takes a very long time to scan. It's very slow. So I like scanning the top 20 ports, or at most I can scan the top 100 ports, so that I can get faster results. But if you want to use the minus pre minus, it's going to take a very long time. So I prefer going with top ports 20 or top ports 100, and I think I'm cool with that. Except I don't find anything at UDP on TCP, then I scan the full ports on UDP, which do take a really long time. So we are going to wait for the results. So and let's see. So let's see what we have. Let's just give it some time. Okay. So also too, there is something Nmap normally does. So the current new Kali update now says, by default, Nmap, when you run Nmap like this, it normally scans the top 100 ports, 1000 ports. Let me show you guys Nmap. If you just type Nmap and hit enter, you're going to see that you have different options, right? Different options, right? Can perform host discovery, different scan technique. You can see TCP sync connect scan. We have the ARC and all that type of scan. So now you can see under port specifications, you can see we are scanning what the 65,535 ports. We can specify different ports. We can use top ports and all. So the script scan that we use, which is SC, you can see what we did. We can either use the SC or we can use the script default, but SC is fine. So our results is back. Let's check. Checking, we can see that okay, we scanned all the whole ports, but just one port is open. You can see nmap scan report for this IP address. You can see we have port 6379 open. We have Redis. We have version Redis key value store 5.0.7. So if I don't know what Redis is, I can click on the service Redis. I can go to Google. I can search for Redis if I don't know what Redis is. so I can understand what the what that port is all about. So I guess my network is a little bit slow. So meanwhile, it's running. So Redis is like an in-memory database management, right? So we are going to start answering the questions. So let me check again. Why is this not going? Okay, let me try to see connection to Google. Okay. The network is really bad. Okay. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use a tool known as Redis CLI to interact with this port. So it's known as Redis CLI. Um, so it's known as Redis CLI. I'm going to use -h so we can learn about different syntax. And if we have credentials, we can specify the port, specify the host name, can specify passwords, right? And we can specify username and all. So this is for proxy server sockets. So what we're going to do now is we are just having we're just having a host. So we're going to specify the host, which is really CLI -h the IP. So I'm going to input the IP like this of the target machine. So already CLI -h, and you can see it's connected. So the next thing to do logically is I can type, let's see if help is going to work. I just want to see, okay, does help works? Nah, okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do something like info, info. So if I should type info, this is going to bring information about the server, right? It's going to bring information about the server. So I'm going to scroll up and you can see from where I typed info here, you can see it's a server, the Redis version, and we can see, okay, it's running on operating system is Linux. You can see the architecture is 64 bits, the process ID, and other information about the Redis server. Next, I'm going to do is I'm going to use another command which is known as keys, KEYS, with a wildcard. So to list all the keys available, and we can see we have keys here, and we have different keys. So I can also use list. Uh, okay, error command. Okay. Okay, so there is a command that is used to list information in the database. So I'm going to quickly check my notes. I guess I've forgotten the command. So you can see that it's very important as penetration testers or ethical hackers to have notes, because when you take notes, you kind of like you don't have to remember everything off head, but then your notes can help you. Your notes can help you. So I'm going to turn on my notes. So while my note is coming up, why not let's go ahead and answer some questions. It said, which TCP port is open on the host machine? So checking our nmap scan, we can see we have what 6379. So we have 6379. I'm going to impute that 6379. Next, it said which service is running on the port that is open to the machine. So checking there, we can see we have Redis is open. So we are going to impute Redis as our answer. Next, they say what type of database is Redis? Choose from the following option. So it's an in-memory database. So I don't know why my internet is not going. I can't connect to Google right now, but it's an in-memory database. Once you Google Redis, you are going to see it. Next thing I'm going to do is they said which command line utility is used to interact with Redis server. You can just Google this question and you can see that it's Redis CLI. That's the Redis CLI, and we used it here to connect to the server. So let me exit just to make things clear again. We used this to Redis CLI to connect to the server. You can see this is the tool that we used. Next, they said which flag is used with the release command to specify the host name is -h. You can see from we use -h here, so I see -h. Now the next answer says that once connected to the Redis server, which command is used to obtain the information and statistics about the Redis server. We use the info command, so which I showed us. We used a info command, so info is going to bring information about the Redis server, and we can see it here. It's going to bring information about the Redis server. The next question said, what's the version of the Redis server being used on the target machine? Now here we can see the server version is what 5.0.7, and also from our nmap scan we can see it, so 5.0.7. So next it said which command is used to select the desired database in the Redis. So okay, so the desired database. So we can see that when we typed info, we also got some information about the key space. So I also want to use a command that you can also use to get the list of database. So I'm why is my not taking time? And I can't make it on Google right now for some reasons. I don't know why. I don't know why it's not coming up. So let me just check my notes real quick. So second, it's not coming up for some reason. That's weird. All right, so let's move. Okay. So they said that which command is used to select the desired database. So we are going to see that from here. Uh, we can see that we have our key space and we have our db0. So we have db0. So we're going to use select. So we can use select 0, and you can see, okay, so meaning that we are now using the database. So it's select we're going to use. So we can see that we have select. Now it says how many keys are present inside the database with index 0. So to do that, we can do keys and star. So you can see that it brought them. We have storage, we have num, we have flag. So we have 4 keys here. So we have 4 keys here. Next is they said which command is used to obtain all the keys in a database. So I'm going to use the get command. Um, so I'm going to use get flag. So I'm going to use the get flag, so you can see it's going to get the flag for us. So the get command can be used to list files. So I can also do get numb. So I can literally get any other file. So but I'm interested in the flag, which is this one here. So the answer is, you can see we did key star. Okay, we already did that. Then we should submit the root flag. So here is our root flag in this particular one here. We're going to use this copy it and submit. So we use the key star to list all the keys, and we use get flag to get the flag. So that's all for this box. I don't know why my notes did not open. I wanted showing us the other commands to actually list the available database. So, and I could have used Google, but my internet went down. So I'm going to check that later. All right. So thank you for watching till the end. I hope you enjoyed this video, and also to you can do to check the official walkthrough, which also explains further details. You can see the official walkthrough, what release is, and other important information on how to enumerate a release server. So do go to and make sure you watch the video. It's very informative. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the machine, and so next class will be focusing more on the tier 2, because the tier 0 just focused on introductory part and focused on anonymous access. So next we are going to be trying out something a little bit difficult, still easy but just a little bit complex compared to this ones. Then for those of you that want to actually exploit these ones, you can pay for the VIP subscription. Or I think with this 4 you're also good to go with the free ones available. You're good to go. So next week we are going to be working on tier 2. So thank you guys for sticking till this time. So that will be all for now. Thank you.